help the communities.
The faith-based community.
He's only been here since
You meet with
November.
them? Do you have meetings? Do you know if you have meetings with the faith-based community?
It depends on the initiative.
subject.
It depends on the subject.
Yeah.
And as far as,
You're better off not being.
as far as, the infant mortality, actually, we have a, we have a coalition that meets every month on that exact topic in my department, and we'd probably be very interested in hearing your input on that particular issue, since that is something that we actually need about regularly, because that is something that my department, Health and Human Services, takes very seriously.
I'm sorry for talking so much. I'm sorry.
Right.
No, I'm not sorry.
You feel
But-
She got something to talk about when she go back to work.
No, when they say, well, who said that? Oh, he's crazy. Don't pay no attention to me. And when the person tells you that, yes, he's crazy, I agree, but tell him when he goes sing, Officer Pippin may have to come get him. Because to put up with this crazy stuff, you got to be crazy.
We want to present you with this ribbon that says who I am makes a difference. So,
Things will not
you are
gonna change, I'm
definitely
telling you, 'cause the second
Thank
coming-
you.
That's it, Carmen. And
That's
Thank you
when-
for having me.
That's when the change.
I'll give you your ride.
No, well,
Thank you.
the change will come.
When the second
No, we
coming,
can-
when
we
Jesus
can-
comes, when he comes back.
I am crazy. So if anybody tell you he's crazy,
Megan,
I'm free.
One of these days when I'm
to
on
you.
clock,
Well,
Here's mine.
I'm not
Can you,
a popular person.
what's
The address
I bet I
is
know. I bet I know.
619
What do you think it is?
Ann Avenue.
Probably has something to do with this group.
No,
You don't?
no.
That's 66101.
One of the days we'll just sit down and maybe have some talk, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
I always say, all right, don't get me wrong.
No, what you said about right home is one of the reasons.
Yeah, more responsibility.
Yes, I do.
But no, we're getting ready to celebrate Martin
You
Luther
got that
King
Christmas party.
Oh, it was
and
good.
on the
At
16th.
8,
And
then I couldn't eat my.
Make it-
Thank you. It was nice meeting you all.
Okay. And Martin Luther King stated some time ago that all these
Thank you so much.
problems that we have, they can be solved when we decide to straighten up our backs. And the person can't ride you back unless it's bent.
Unless it's been.
And so our backs are bent.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think we're gonna be forced to straighten them up, and we won't do it till we're forced.
and that's what needs to happen.
Well, just like this, sitting in there when Mary Bridges said, I didn't appoint that committee. And I asked him again, I said, now who appointed? I didn't appoint that committee. Eleanor Jefferson sees, and Eleanor's eyes went big. Because you understand how the structure is designed.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I got it. I got it, Mayor. And he just smiled. He didn't want to be on it. I will always think that in his mind, because of his family, morally, they were basically good people. The Rears were good people. And I think he was getting put in positions to have to do things that he didn't want to do. When they appointed they did the shopping center down here, and he put me on the committee along with another guy who used to be a part of the structure. And I resigned after the second week. And when they dedicated the place, I went down there. The other guy who is part of the structure here said, you know, Chester, I should have resigned the same time you did. He said, I didn't realize what was happening. Now, this turned out okay, but there was some people who made some big time money.
That's
Out
what it's
of the
all
situation.
about.
Made some, and I saw that after the second meeting.
Yeah, it's all about, it's all, and that, what you were sharing with her is so true, because see, it can, KU continues to get these grants.
Thank you.
That's, I mean, that's not even new, that's been happening for years and years.
Forever.
So, and like you say, it's for employment, you know, so to keep people, because I know like when we, just like that little deal that we had this summer, Shannon, you know, the people that work with the neighborhood, that's all because that's how they get monies.
That's
It's from our they feed on us.
Uh-huh.
That's what they do. I know that, we
Well,
know that.
We call them, I call them cash credits. You know, this young fellow is very active at the meeting. I've shared some of the same information with him. He said, you know, Mr. Hodge, I was in a meeting and somebody asked, why do we have this health problem? And KU is considered one of the best hospitals in America. Now, I done already told them that. Okay, we don't hear what people from our community, you know, we go on what the other folks tell. He heard that loud and clear. He said, you have any comment on this? KU has Project Eagle, the Children's Camp Project Eagle. They probably get $5 or $6 million a year. Children's campus up there, people don't know how to do it. That's a whole other story. But sometime you'll share that with you. That was, I go to my grave regretting how I was used. I was used big time. They probably get a couple of million, you know. And not to mention all these other little projects.
That's right.
Everything that goes on, they get a cut of.
Yeah.
All these different little programs, all over, even the weed and seed.
Oh, yeah.
They, you know, they were on there where they were actually supposed to do something.
Really?
Well, we caught on to that early.
But on the Trust for America's Health, who oversees all this, they kind of an advisory group. It goes to the Congress. My daughter's the vice president, and also on there is Alonzo Plow Jr.
Really?
You remember Plow?
Where happened to her?
I don't know where she is.
Do you think she's still living?
I don't know. My daughter said the first time she met him when they appointed him. And so they told her, said, one of the people said, we got another African-American, there's 3 of them now. And he said, came in the hotel out in California, and he came and said, hello, Dr. Harris. And so she spoke and read everything, and she didn't know, she couldn't tell he was black. And you know what she said? What else she said? And he ain't black either.
Now you're talking. That's kind of what I said about Carl. Carl in our office. He didn't know, bless his heart. He didn't know who he was.
But you know,
Carl didn't know.
he is the executive director of the biggest, people who issue all these grants for this health stuff. What's the big company? The biggest one that gives the grants now. He's executive director.
Well, I don't say.
And I hope people in Kansas never find out he's from Kansas. Because my daughter said.
No one don't want to know he's from Kansas City, Kansas.
But you know, I'm shifting now. This movie they made about the 2 ladies, I mean 3 ladies in the space program. You know the movie? I haven't seen it. I don't.
Hidden Figures or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it. But you know, Ed Dwight, they did an interview with him on Public Radio, Understand, last week. Yeah, last week, but this we got it here. So I communicate with Ed sometime, but you know, they probably need to make a movie about him.
That's right.
See the space program, and the day after Kennedy got killed, the day after, WJ kicked him out. When people in the space program said they didn't want to be black in outer space program. You ever hear Eddie talk about it?
But there were other facets to why he was kicked out though, Chester. Now, you know, now, I know a few things. I know a few things, okay? There were other reasons why Eddie White was kicked out of that program, okay? Personal stuff.
Personal.
So, yeah, so it's not, it had maybe LBJ and maybe that, but there was his life. His life.
You mean with the wife?
Yes, sir, yes. And so now that, and I don't blame him, but I thought that was terrible with her, you know, what she did. Because it's kind of like, well, if things weren't the way they should be, and so, you know, people, you know, and sometimes that's where you least expect something to come to maybe sabotage you in something you're doing would be, you know, because of your wife or your cousin or relatives or whatever. But,
No, he
he was
wrote-
on his way until Sue, where Sue did.
Well, he wrote a book about that.
Well, I don't know about the book,
No,
but I.
he did this not too long ago. But she's still even now pretty much suing him.
You know, that, Sue Lillian, and she's never had any peace, with herself, you know. I worked with her over in the federal building, and she, of course, didn't know what I knew. And I looked at her and I just watched how she's just never, you ever seen someone never happy? They're just at a turmoil all the time, yeah. But she wasn't right, she didn't do right. She did not do right. Because he
meeting
had,
adjourned.
you know, even if I knew, even if we weren't getting along, and you had an opportunity like that, there's no way that I would
Yeah.
try to sabotage that. I wouldn't do that. That was wrong. She was wrong. And I felt.
Well, the story, the details, is, and I emailed, I want to get a copy of interview and see what he said on it.
Well,
Bye-bye.
the bottom line is, she was a contributing factor,
Yep.
you know, there were
Gotta get to
contributing
this
factors,
other
you know,
meeting.
you don't all have to be.
All right.
But a contributing factor, just a slight little thing can taint us, because, you know, when you're being considered for something, that's all they need is a.
I know that's right.
So, you know, we have to be squeaky clean, everybody else can.
Pass quickly. And I'm sorry, I should have said all of what that young lady, I'm sorry.
Well, but it's different how you're thinking or what you feel, because when you go out into the community, that's what should be expected.
Well, see, they sit up there, they don't know. They buy into, we're doing all this great service. And they
Yeah.
really